Hi everyone, my name is Maria and I am the Green Stitcher on Flosstube and over on Instagram. And this is a channel all about cross stitch with occasional updates on my sewing, quilting, gaming, reading, and a bit of life stuff. So today is going to be a Flosstube extra. I was going to film it as an overview of 4 of my favorite books, which I have. And then as it happens, as you might know if you do film your own Flosstube videos, either, you film things too far apart and something changes in your idea in your mind, or when you get to editing and you see sort of the full length and the intense amount of information, sometimes you just want to shift things around. So I'm refilming the intro. So what I'm planning to do today is, instead of showing you all 4 of my favorite cross stitch books, I'm going to show you just one for now. So I do have quite a little bit of a collection of cross stitch books. I have got quite a few that I believe are quite popular and easy to find, and you can find flip throughs on those all over YouTube, so I'm not going to do those. I've got a few of the, actually all of the Emma Congdon books that have been released so far as I know. I've got a Tiny Modernist book, a few of Donna Kohler books, a few others, but I decided to film 4 individual videos for you guys to give you flip throughs of my 4 favorite books from my cross stitch collection. They are different brands, different designers, different styles as well, and I just feel like I've gone into quite a lot of details doing the flip throughs on each of these, also trying to share my thoughts and my own preferences while I'm describing the designs for you. So in each of these you will see designs that I'm either planning to stitch or have already sort of got some material packs arranged for them, or even stitch some designs from these books. So today, and I feel like it fits the bill absolutely perfectly to start with, probably my number 1, which is the Owl Forest embroidery book that looks like this. And I'm filming in the middle of October, so I'll give you the dates and the details that I can find on the book today. As far as I know, the book got released last year. It is a hardcover book. I don't believe there's any other version available at the moment. And you can purchase it from owlforest.co.uk. I'll leave all the links that I can find for you in the description below. I'll link to the book itself. I bought mine with the help of my friend from Belarus, who just ordered it directly from Russia to come to her, and then she shipped it to me with some of my other stuff. So I didn't necessarily have to pay the quite expensive shipping that you might find on the website. But as you might know, it's quite convenient to get a few friends together and order a few things from their website if you're planning to order the book as well. So it is quite heavy. I've just had a look for myself just to give you some numbers again, so you have an idea of the price in mind if you were going to buy it for yourself. So the book itself is around $33. I imagine that's US dollars. And shipping comes out at $56.50, which is obviously more expensive than the book itself. But like I said, and I've calculated shipping to myself in the UK. So I imagine if you'd buy a few kits, get together with a few friends, in the same country, that would definitely make it more manageable. I wish they'd made sort of a system where their kits and their lovely floss bags and the book itself were more readily available for us in this side of the world, but well, it is what it is at the moment. I have also read on the website that the book I have is completely in Russian. There are bits of it in the legends on the patent that are in English that I'll show you during the flip through today, but they have announced that they are planning to release an English version of the book at some point, though it hasn't been released just yet. So if I don't believe it would be an issue if you bought the Russian language book, if you wanted to stitch the designs, but if you wanted to sort of have a complete, access to all of the lovely stories and background on the designs in the book, you might want to hold out and wait for those for the book to be released in English. Another thing I'll say is that I don't believe you can buy these patterns besides them being in the book itself. I don't think they're on their website. However, if you like one of the designs, you can always sort of do one of the two options, which I believe you can do with any of their electronic patterns as well. You can either buy a floss pack specifically made for these designs, and I will show you some of mine that I've procured for stitching some of the designs from the book today. Or you can sort of pick and choose individually the colors that they sell on the website, and put them in your cart, and combine and see if you want to change any colors, if you want to, skip on white because it's most likely going to be just the non-variegated B5200. It depends on you. So those are the options you can sort of go ahead with. And also the PDFs you buy on the website have a .saga file attached to them. If you open them in Adobe, and there's a proper instruction on the website, I'm just saying this just in case you wanted to try stitching with Cross Stitch Saga app. You can extract the attachment from the PDF using Adobe and use that .saga file in Cross Stitch Saga app. I think that's all, but sorry, what I'm trying to say is that that's for the PDFs on the website, which are obviously not in the book. The book is a paper book, and as far as I know, you don't have access to any of the Saga files for the designs in the book. If you know differently, please feel free to let me know in the description below. So I think that's all of the sort of admin for this video. So I'm planning to release these once a month, in the middle of the month, in between my monthly updates that usually come out at the end of the month or beginning of the next month. And I'm going to show you my owl forest today. Then I also have a lovely book by Kazuka Aoki, Cross Stitch Garden. I also have a book by Kyoko Maruoka, a designer behind brand Gira. I'm not 100% sure how to pronounce it. And I'll also show you, again, one of my absolute gems, 101 best designs from Cross Stitch and Country Crafts magazines. So you have those to look forward to. I also felt like if someone was interested more in one book than the other, individual videos made more sense, and then they wouldn't be sort of a 1-3 hour long video. So if I have any links, like I said, to the book, to any of the other information about the book, I'll leave them in the description below. But feel free to ask me any questions you might have, either again in the comments, or message me on Instagram, Maria_the_Green_Stitcher, or email me at mariathegreenstitcher@gmail.com. I think this is it for the admin. Let's get to looking at the book a bit closer. I'll swap from the sort of face in the shot view to overhead camera so we can see everything in better detail, and let's get started. This is the Owl Forest's book. I love their style, I love the flosses that they dye, and I think some of these designs are just absolutely beautiful, and I'm planning to stitch a few of these actually. And while I'm showing you this book as well, I will probably show you the floss packs for the ones that I'm planning to stitch as well, just while we're at it. So let's get started. All right, so it's a hardcover copy. I think they don't come in paperback, and it's quite a hefty one as well. So if you are ordering it, please consider the weight as well. It's all in Russian, but some of the information on the patterns is in English, which you will see in a minute. Besides the beautiful sort of cover of the book itself, there are lovely stories and lovely designs inside. The book is made really beautifully. The whole sort of premise of it is that it's the sort of owl kingdom, and there is, a few different places in the owl kingdom, and the owl is sort of taking us through, but it's basically talking about different designs in different parts of this owl kingdom. So the first design we greeted with is a lovely sampler with a stitcher, with a sewing machine as well, so a crafter, right? With some fantastic borders and keys and scissors and watering cans at the top. Absolutely beautiful. So the first half of the book is dedicated to the stitched and FFO designs, and then I think the second half is patterns mixed in with parts of the stitched designs as well. The next design in the book is actually two forest samplers. So the first one is this lovely design with pines and, again, gorgeous borders, a lot of greens and browns, definitely something up my alley. And then the second one on this page is a slightly bigger version of the same one. So some of the borders repeat themselves. Let me show you those both next to each other. Some of the borders repeat themselves. You see that the colors are the same as well. The design on the right has sort of one uniform tree and has more animals and more owls. If I had to choose, I'd probably go with the one on the left just because it has more green and more trees. I quite like this option. I love how they FFO'd it in these lovely wooden frames with these sort of marks left by either age or maybe ants. And there are more owls featured throughout the book. Then my absolute love, and I think there's two designs here, again, similar to each other that you can choose from, is the pomegranate designs. And they feature these gorgeous dark red colors and then these teals and lighter greens and a bit of pink as well. Again, the book is just done so beautifully. There's stitches, the stitches are, finished, FFO'd. There's other decorative elements in the photos, and I feel like just looking at them gets you absolutely excited and ready for stitching them. And then the one that I am planning to stitch out of these two is this lovely pomegranate design with the Czar pomegranate. Is that what they called it? And again, it's the same colors, probably a slightly different ratio of the colors. And let me show you the floss pack I got for it. So this is the one I have got. Absolutely beautiful design and lovely colors. My favorites, as you know, this dark wine red, this green that goes from sort of a foresty green to a seafoam green, and then we've got a lighter grassy green, pink and yellow. So absolutely in love with this design. I don't think I'll be stitching it on white fabric. I'm not the biggest fan of stitching on white in general, so I think I might opt out for a light green or a tan. We'll see when it comes to it. I'm not planning to start it anytime soon, but I'm hoping to stitch it, in the next couple of years, sort of. Next is another gorgeous design that I'm hoping to stitch at some point, and that is a lovely winter owl sampler. I call it an owl wedding because they look like a bride and a groom. I might be wrong though, but they have these lovely crowns stitched with cryonic. They have lovely greens again with purples and blues and a bit of red accents. Absolutely beautiful. Love this design. Again, that was one that I totally fell in love with and decided to stitch it for myself too. I'll show you the floss pack for this as well. You can see the color palette is much wider than the previous one. Obviously, I've got the blues and the purples and the greens. I'm pretty sure I've stitched with this green in a different design, and this might be the same as in the pomegranate. This color palette perfectly matches the colors in our bedroom, and so I'm hoping to stitch it for that room and FFO it as a sort of seasonal replacement piece for the King Thistle that I stitched a couple years ago from them as well. Again, beautiful photos, as you can see. Everything is FFO'd, which looks fantastic. Then we have a really great little selection of lovely owls representing different sort of historical characters. So you've got a king owl. This one has a few specialty stitches, sort of like counted satin stitches in the feathers, as you can see. And I love this frame, absolutely gorgeous. And then the two designs that I'm hoping to stitch as well. So first is the gardener owl. So the gardener owl looks just absolutely beautiful, and I might stitch her for my mum. She's holding loads of flowers in her wings, I guess. And then the one I absolutely had to stitch when I saw it, and again I'll show you the pack for it in a second. I think it's called Owl Hunter, but I feel like it's a representation of Robin Hood. And as you might know, as I live in Nottingham in the UK, Robin Hood is sort of all the rage. It's in the name of our transport providers and local sort of places, restaurants, shops, and yeah, I felt like it would be a perfect design to stitch. Plus it has loads of green, has a lovely red heart here, and also is an owl, obviously, as I said, I love owls as well. Then a fantastic forest Cyrillic alphabet. Every letter has its own sort of decorations, be it flowers or leaves or acorns, and it's stylized to look like branches or twigs. And you can obviously stitch the whole alphabet if that's what you'd like, or you can combine the letters and stitch, you know, a phrase made out of these. And that's, I think, what they've done for the cover photo. Just combined, obviously, individual letters from the alphabet for this. I love this design as well, and the frame, the green frame, is just lovely and gorgeous. And here we have an even closer look at the stitched letters. Again, obviously everything is stitched in Owl Forest embroidery, hand-dyed flosses or over-dyed flosses. I think they use, yeah, they over-dye DMC, obviously. And then we've got a very cute owl banner. Again, I just love that it has FFOs. I feel like even if you don't love a particular design, you can obviously see the FFO option, get inspired, you know, and try that in a different design. Next, we've got owls dancing, wearing traditional clothing, dancing, playing accordion, and we have lovely backstitch shaped like owl feathers all around them. And the border in this sort of salmon-y pink says the owls are dancing and the feathers are flying. Love this. Very cute. And again, love the FFO. I think it would be so adorable as a cushion. That would be a very nice thing to have in your living room. or dancing owls. Now, these are sort of group traditional dances. I love the border here. Look at the acorns and the little mushrooms. I think it's probably toadstools. And the tree stumps at the bottom with the mushrooms as well. Just absolutely beautiful. A gorgeous frame. Would be perfect for so many designs, including Halloween ones. Another absolutely stunning banner. This one featuring some strawberry jam. Lovely green fabric. And I just love, again, the borders, but the jars as well. I imagine they use a couple of shades of overdyes, but still you get this lovely variegated look, obviously, with those. And this one says that strawberry jam will be ready for your tea on Sunday. Beautiful. What a lovely way to FFO something. You know, a kitchen design using some sort of, I think it's called gingham kitchen towel fabric, using some wooden spoons. That would look just lovely in sort of a rustic style kitchen, I think, or framed as well, whichever way you prefer. Then we have a more sort of ornamental autumn design, and a lot of these, as you can see, are sort of very autumn themed, with a squirrel and then loads of different patterns in different shades of orange, green and brown. Almost looks like a small quilt to me. And I'm pretty sure this one is a full coverage. Next we have a very summery design where an owl is a beekeeper. It's dressed in the protective gear, at least the hood, and has a lot of lovely wildflowers and herbs, loads of bees and bumblebees, and obviously the beehives. And again, the borders, it's the borders for me. I love that they're not repeating. The top and the bottom one are different. I think it's just the sides that are the same. And I have a soft spot in my heart for wildflowers on design, specifically in this sort of primitive style. So I think I might consider stitching this one as well at some point. And then you see a close-up of this design with a version with a person instead of an owl. Again, wearing protective gear. The smoker. I'm not sure what it's properly called. I imagine it releases smoke in its hand, yeah? Just absolutely stunning. Then we are taking a small break from owls and looking at a cat design. So these are some lovely rooftop cats that are singing in the moonlight. For any cat lovers, I feel like this is an absolute perfect design. And then it being stitched on the darker fabric obviously gives you quite a lot of freedom to choose your own shade of a darker fabric. And I feel like, you know, dark green, dark blue, purple, a lot of different shades would work here really, really well. Adorable these guys are. We've got another forest sampler, this time with foxes, hedgehog and a raccoon. Look at this gorgeous border with pine cones though. Beautiful. And I think these might be cornflowers. And I think, no, that's not the last one just yet. The next design is, I think these are, ravens, crows, and magpies. And again, they are having a celebration. As you can see, it's sort of a seasonal sampler, or again, an autumn one where sort of they're collecting the harvest. There's someone riding a tractor. Then they're having a feast. They're drinking tea from a samovar. And then they are again singing and dancing to their heart's content. I love the borders again. It's something about the borders with Owl Forest that just absolutely gets me. I feel like these are absolutely adorable. A lot of sort of traditional Slavic elements on here, obviously. The next is another beautiful forest design with a bunch full of toadstools and frogs. Look at these three guys having a hike, holding the mushrooms in their hands as if they are staffs. And you see some berries again and some water. It looks like a marshland, a gorgeous cranberry border on three sides. And I love that even if the sampler is meant to be sort of symmetrical overall, it's not completely, repeated left and right, and you're not stitching too much of it, but, 2 or 3 times. I quite like that about these. And another closer look at the gorgeous frogs and mushrooms. I feel like a lot of these things you only see when you start stitching or, closely looking at them. I just noticed, I guess the frog went up the stairs to hang up some laundry to dry in between those lovely mushrooms. And there's a frog hiding in there in the marshland, in the swamp. So absolutely beautiful designs. And that was all of the designs included in this book. Then the second half, like I said, is dedicated to the patterns themselves. So I'll just get the book out of the frame. I want to show you an example of what to expect inside. I think I had this conversation with someone on Instagram, and I sent them a little picture of an example so that you can sort of see for yourself what to expect. So I'll share this piece of the pattern. I'm sure it's fine. Let me just cover sort of some of it with some flosses probably. So what you get inside the book, obviously it's lovely looking at the finished designs, but you will want to stitch from it. So what you get from the book is most of the information here is in Russian. However, a lot of it I feel like is very sort of intuitive to, what it means. And then we'll get to the key, to the legend later, and you'll see it has both. So top of the information starts with the size of your stitching, so the number of stitches on your grid. Then you see the amount of stitches altogether in the whole design. Then they're giving you an option to choose your fabric, obviously, and giving you some information on the size of your finished design, depending on the fabric you choose. And the size is in centimeters because that's the system we use back at home. And then they recommend, as you can see, Zweige Belfast 32 count linen in light mocha, and give you the article for it if you wanted to purchase it. The backstitch, if it exists, again, as you can see, it tells you the number, and then the color has a name, obviously, and the name is translated both in English and Russian, which helps, I think. And here's an example of a legend at the bottom. So you'll have DMC equivalents, you'll have the Owl Forest numbers and Owl Forest names for those colors. And then the top of this chart tells you to stitch using full cross 2/2 on your preferred fabric. A piece of the pattern is looking like this. So it has a lovely 10 by 10 grid. It has both colors and symbols in each, and it's very clear to read. And the book is made out of quite lovely, high quality, slightly glossy paper, but not too glossy where you couldn't read it or it was, causing issues using a light or glasses or anything. So I feel like it's really good to stitch with it. And then what you will also see is, obviously, because they were trying to fit into a specific size of the pages, but also to keep the size of the patterns, adequate, so you would be able to read it and stitch off it easily. They had split the patterns into a few different pages depending on the design, but you will see grayed out sections that signify an overlap. So I hope this makes sense. If you wanted to purchase this book, but you weren't sure sort of how it looks inside, if the patterns are readable, if it's friendly to a non-Russian speaker. If you have any questions, please feel free to ask me below. So here is my Owl Forest embroidery book that I absolutely adore, and like you saw, I'm planning to stitch quite a few designs from it in the near future. I would love to know which of the designs you like the most and you would like to stitch. I am planning to I'm not planning to start these anytime sort of in the next couple months, just because I'm having my first stitch along, or rather start along, on my birthday in November. Again, to reiterate for the ones who might have missed it in the previous video or haven't watched the previous video. So I have a birthday. My birthday is in November, on November 11th. I love Owl Forest. I love everything green. As you know, I love owls. And I wanted to celebrate with a birthday start, as well as having a start along organized. So we are stitching things that are on green fabric, or with mostly green floss, or that have owls, or that have a forest or elements of a forest, or that are Owl Forest embroidery designs, or all of the above, or a combination of the above. So I'll insert the picture here. Again, I will be starting the, I think it's called the Woodland Spirit by Owl Forest Embroidery. I have a PDF chart plus saga file, and I ordered the floss pack for it separately and hand dyed fabric for it myself. So it's going to be an interesting one. I am starting mine specifically on my birthday because I took a whole week off work specifically to just completely chill, relax, and not work, and only think about crafting, gaming, and doing my favorite things. But if you want to join me with any of those designs, you do not have to start or stitch specifically on the 11th. You can go on stitching on your existing whips that fit any of the criteria or all of them, and you can also do it any other time in November, so up to you. But if you are posting pictures on Instagram, I would love for you to at me, so I can see your lovely progress or your lovely start. Give you a like, give you a comment, and maybe reshare on my stories. That would be fantastic. So that was it. A lot of the Owl Forest embroidery talk today. I'm sort of accidentally but very much on brand dressed in green today. So yeah, can't wait to start my birthday start. Besides that, in November I might start a few other things, but I'll talk to you about those at the end of October or beginning of November when I film my October Stitchy update video, where I'll show you some FFOs in plural, some finishes in plural, and a whip or two. We'll see how it goes. So thank you so much for spending your time with me today. Hope you found this video interesting and informative, or at least entertaining. If you have any questions, like I said, comment below, DM me on Instagram, or email me at mariathegreenstitcher@gmail.com, and I will see you very, very soon. Have a lovely stitchy time. Thank you so much. See you later. Bye.